This is not the internet. This is the Metaverse. Hello pioneers. This week we'll have a little look at minting tokens on the Pi network and see what we've got in store for the future. So back in August of 2022, I released a similar video on the tokenization of assets. During this video, one of the things I mentioned was that how I'd been asked to do some work for one of the Pi network teams, and they were going to pay me in their own tokens, which spurred the video. And ever since then, I couldn't talk about it at the time who it was, but since then I can now talk that it was the guys from PiChain Mall. And since then they've come out with their wallet and how they're going to have their own tokens. Right? This is all well and good. And in their roadmap, you can see here that they're planning on minting these tokens on the mainnet in Q1 of 2024. Now, we also know that with the release of Fireside Forum from the core team, they also have their own tokens. And you can also consider that you swap those tokens for Fire. Fire could be also considered a token in its own right as well. So that's a very interesting mechanism as well. To go along with that, we've got the guys from Connect Social, Meldon and the team over there. They're releasing a token called Ethereum. Right? So this is 3 projects we've got that are releasing tokens. Now the whole thing here is that we don't have the mechanism to mint tokens on the Pi network yet. Right? So let's take a bit of a look more of a look at this. Right? So if we look at another project called FEG, right? This is on Binance Smart Chain. Right? If the way they launched their token, right, was to do a smart contract, right? And this is traditionally the way that they launch tokens. And you can see here, it requires a lot of skillful coding, requires audits, and you really can't just be a normal coder either. You have to be a blockchain coder to be able to do these contracts, because any little hole in these things that we've seen in the past, people can exploit those things and mint their own tokens or move tokens around and essentially steal the tokens, right? So you have to be very, very highly skilled for this, and this brings in a very high barrier to entry to minting your own tokens. Now the reason I picked FEG was because they are launching something called Smart DeFi, right? And they've got this SD Launchpad, right, where normal people, who aren't coders or anything like that and only have a basic knowledge of blockchain, can actually mint their own tokens, right? So currently it's nearly ready to be launched, right? It's only a matter of weeks away and they're doing public testing, right? So this is on their testnet. So during the week, I launched my own Aikiu Metaverse token, right, which I called AMB. And it's very simple. You just launch the SD here, put in your details, add the supply, right, and any taxes on the transactions, and then create token, right? Goes off to MetaMask, right, and bang, you've got a token already. Now it's not quite finished. Next you have to deploy a swap to add liquidity. Right, so here we bring this up, add whatever liquidity, I put half the amount there, approve, right, so then it goes through MetaMask again, you approve the transaction, now you deploy the swap, confirm, and bang, and that's it, right? So you can see, compared to making a smart contract, that is a very, very, very more simplistic way of doing it and lowers the barrier of entry into minting your own tokens. Right? Now, and then it's just to finalize, you can add in your token into the MetaMask itself, right? So you just put the contract address in here, bang, import, bang, and there you go, you got your token, right? So again, like I said, very, very much easier way of doing things. So let's take a look at another blockchain, in this case our cousin Stella, right? Obviously because Pi is a fork of Stella. Now to mint tokens over on Stella, they have a thing called the Stella Laboratory, right, where you can build transactions, right? And to actually mint a token is quite simple actually, and all you have to do is create an issuer account, create the distribution account, establish a trust line, and then generate your tokens, right? And that's it, right? And we've seen a similar process on the Pi network where you have the main wallets that the tokens were minted in, and then there's a distribution wallet, right? So it's a very similar process, obviously, you know. The thing that's different is that, you know, from other blockchains, something you've got to get used to is the establishment of a trust line, right? So when people from other projects send you their tokens for free, which happens a lot, instead of that just going automatically into your wallet, you actually have to establish this trust line with that project first before the coins can be claimed, right? And I'll show you how that's done here, right? So this is Stella term where I've got my Freighter wallet connected, and you can see here there's quite a number of tokens that people have just sent me for free, right? Now I don't know what their project is, I don't know what their amount of coins are or anything, any tokens, you know, I don't know any of that stuff. But you can see one here is, you know, they've sent me over 200,000 coins, so let's claim that and see what happens, right? So it's simple as doing the transaction here, right? Goes to my Freighter wallet. You can see here the first thing it's going to do is change trust, right? So I'm going to establish a trust line with this project, right? So that gets approved, right? Then so the trust line's created, the payment is claimed, right? And then the payment is received, right? So this is how the mechanism works on Stella, right? And this will be exactly the same on the Pi network, right? And then you can see in here, right, now my wallet, I've got these coins, right? Now, they're worth a little bit of money there, but I mean, what you find is if you try and swap them for anything, they're worthless, you know, it's just the project trying to get their name out there, you know. And kind of a way these trust lines are kind of like following a project, you know, so people get bragging rights with the amount of trust lines that they've established, you know. So on the Pi network, what I'm expecting to see, and I've been saying this in the past as well, is that we should get one of these Stella Labs. Now, right, and you know, it might look something like this. Now, the thing with the Stella Lab though is, even though it's quite simplistic in how to do it, you can see it's only really 4 steps to create your token, there's still quite a bit of knowledge to be needed. So I wouldn't say this is really something that normal people could do, right? You know, maybe they could follow a YouTube video, maybe work it out, but there really needs to be some sort of technical expertise here, you know. So, you know, if we could get something like the FEG Smart DeFi Launchpad, right, which makes it even more and more simpler for everyone to do, this would be a great thing, right? But I think in the interim, you know, our expectation is that we'll just get something like the Stella Laboratory. Now, if we go back to this roadmap from the Pi Chain Mall, you can see here, if we look in the Q1, right, that, you know, they're talking about token contract deployment on mainnet, token mainnet migration, right, all these sorts of things, right? They're talking about minting a token on the mainnet, and they're talking about doing this in Q1, right? Well, Q1's at the end of the month, end of March, right? So that's not very long away. So since we've got Pi Day coming up, you know, I'm going to assume that perhaps Pi Chain Mall knows something that we don't know, and that the core team are going to release the minting mechanism, right, so that projects can actually mint their tokens, right? Now, I don't have any knowledge on this. I don't know what's going on. You know, I know some things from Pi Chain Mall that I can't discuss, but you know, if they're saying that they're going to deploy the mainnet, you know, the tokens on mainnet coming up, it's kind of expectation that, you know, we're going to need that mechanism released, right? Now, when we look at last year's Pi Day, we didn't get anything from the core team. So let's hope that this Pi Day, that we get something, you know, something to look forward to, maybe a new release, some token mintings or something like that. And, you know, that would bode well for, you know, a bit of excitement, you know, around the Pi. So that's all I wanted to cover for this, you know, because this caught my eye. You know, you see in my last few videos, you know, this is something that I was looking at and curious about how they're going to do the minting on mainnet. You know, I still don't have the information how they're doing this or anything. So, you know, but that's the mechanism that they're going to have to do. It's quite simple, but does require this laboratory. So let's see what we get for Pi Day. All right. So that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you later.